Alright, welcome everyone to today's tutorial. Okay, so today I'll be showing you guys how to make a shadow gift box. Okay, a shadow box. So now I'm going to start with a piece of cardstock that measures 13 and half by 11 and 6/8 of an inch. This is 13 and half inches. Okay, it's wider than my board, it's fine, no problem. And then on this side I have 11 and 6/8 of an inch. So now I'm going to be scoring at half an inch. Okay, half an inch, then 2 and 1/8, then 2 and 5/8, then 4 and 2/8 of an inch. Okay, so I will move that and then finish up that scoring like so. Now this one that I did, I'll repeat the same thing on all the remaining 3 sides. Okay, let me repeat this one: half an inch, 2 and 1/8, 2 and 5/8, 4 and 2/8. Okay, like this. So I'm going to repeat these remaining 2 parts. I'll do that off camera and then I'll get back to you at that point. Alright, so here I am. I've done all the scoring. Okay, so now on the longer side I will score at 4 and 6/8 to the second score line. Okay, on this side, and then here I will score at 1 2 3 4 inches away from the last score line. That's 4 8, that's half an inch away, so that's at 8 and 6/8 of an inch to the second score line. Then come to the bottom part, so I will turn it like this. Okay, you can see what I did. I just moved it up and then turned it. So where I scored is now down here. Okay, so now I'm not going to score up here at 4 and 6/8 of an inch to the second score line, and then at 8 and 6/8 of an inch to the second score line. So there I am done with the scoring. So now next thing that we are to do, I will bring in my paper cutter, my metal ruler, and then start cutting. It's just the same way. If you watch the shadow box card, my previous video before this one, is the same cutting that I'm doing. The only difference is that the measurement is bigger. Okay, it's the same, and then the measurements are different, but the same way that I'm cutting. Okay, so I will do this first one. Okay, I'll cut here, so another diagonal cut. Okay, then here as well. Okay, then I'll turn that and then cut from here. I'm leaving this flap. Okay, is what is going to hold our box together. I'll cut this off completely, then turn and remove this. Now for the box card, you see that this flap was tiny, it was smaller. Okay, just because of the difference in measurement, but it is the same style, the same thing. All you need, the only difference is just your measurements. Okay, so now I'm going to finish cutting this that I did here on the remaining 3 parts, and then I'll get back to you at that point in order to save time. All right, so now here we are. Okay, so now next thing I'm going to do that I didn't do in the previous video that I did later on is to nudge on these flaps. Okay, I did it later on, so I'm going to do the nudging here and now while it is still flat on these flaps. So I'll just line my ruler up. If you can use your scissors. Okay, as you must have seen, it doesn't really matter. All I need is just to nudge so that I can fold in easily. I can fold it in easily, to have the box assembled. Okay, so and then the last one. Okay, so there. All right, so now there we are. Okay, now this cardstock, it's the same thing both front and back. Okay, so now next thing I'm going to do is to fold and crease. This cardstock is thicker than the one I used yesterday. Okay, this one is stronger. So but then still, I usually don't use my bone folder, especially for shadow box when I'm folding. I don't know why, it's just a habit. So you can form your own habits, it's allowed. Okay, and the final one. All right, so now here we are. So you're wondering, so you can see shadow box takes up a lot of material and all, that's why most times it's quite expensive. So this is how it will be. Okay, so of course next thing we're going to do after folding this is to now apply adhesive. I use double-sided tape and UHU, which you're all aware of. So on this I will apply like so. So I will do this off camera in order to save time. Okay, and then I'll get back to you after applying all the double-sided tape, so you see how it's applied. Okay, all right, so now you can see how I applied my double-sided tape. Okay, you can pause this video for you to have a proper look at how I applied the double-sided tapes. Okay, so next thing is for me to crease on all the double-sided tapes. Okay, and then of course I'll bring my UHU gun and turn it and wait for it to get turned. I can just drop it anyway. So next thing I'm going to do is to peel off the backing tapes. Let me do that one after the other. So now I'll fold from the second score line like so. Okay, you can see that it both this met up here. Then I will now hold the two together and fold over and then crease properly. Crease properly, then lift this and fold it backward, then crease again. Okay, so I will repeat this on all the remaining 3 sides, and then I'll get back to you to show you how to assemble it, which of course I'm sure you can do already. All right, so now I'm done. Now I need to show you something. Okay, I deliberately made a mistake that I will show you while I was folding this over. Now while folding this over, if you check here, it's well aligned. There's no space right here. It's not properly aligned. This one is overlapping here, so you can see the score line being more pronounced here. Now this one is properly aligned. Now there's a little space here. You can see because this is shifted towards that side, so it's not lying on this part. Okay, but now the thing is, it doesn't really matter because it's just a little, because when you're going to raise it, it will still, you know, stand properly. Yes, it will. But there's going to be a little but. The inside part, you see this place will be tight, okay, but here you'll be seeing a little space here. Sorry, okay, I don't know if you can see the space. There's going to be a little space here even after assembling it. So in order to prevent this space here, that is why when you are folding, be very careful when you are folding to make sure that you fold properly. So what I'll do is, I thank God that I used double-sided tape, okay, so I can easily lift this. You can see the way I'm lifting it, just carefully, okay. Then I will shift it, making sure that it's aligned properly. Now I can now crease that. So that is why if you're not using double-sided tape, you need to be very careful when you are folding and creasing. Make sure that it is properly aligned. I can't overemphasize this alignment of a thing, okay. You need to make sure it's properly aligned. That way you get a well finished and beautifully finished box, okay. So now let's assemble this. So now here we are. It's flat, yeah, but of course it's not going to be totally flat. So let's start with this. Now I'm going to show you a trick here, okay, with your metal ruler. So just apply my UHU gum there. Then slide that in. This can be very tricky, yeah. It will fold, yes, don't worry, it's going in. It must go in. Just keep encouraging it till it goes. Once that fits, okay, remove this and then apply your glue on the diagonal section like that. Then tuck that in. Now this is where we need our metal ruler, okay. From this hole here, I will take my metal ruler and then use to encourage that, but I have to lie this down so it will be more it will hold properly. And then just like that, but be careful, okay, so you don't scratch your cardstock, okay, like that. Just encourage it to lie down like so, and then here as well. Now if you touch here, it's strong, it's feeling very strong compared to this side, okay, it's feeling very strong. So now let's do the next part. I'm going to finish this on camera so you can see the struggles, so you wouldn't think that okay, I did it easily. No, it's still a struggle for me. It's a struggle really for this particular one. Now another thing you can do is that you can just trim this down to 1/2 inch, okay, but I don't like trimming because I need that strength inside my box, okay. So now you can see the struggle, right? So I'll just, this has to bend so this can rise, pushing it in. Yes, it is a struggle. Now because of the double-sided tape, it's not easy. You can see all the mess and all. So then we'll just tuck that in. Before that, bring this out and then apply my UHU gum on. Just, you can see like small triangle, okay, so this can go under like so. Then you press, okay, and then repeat the same thing. Looking inside it, you can see the cardstock. I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of bent, so I need to use my ruler, lie that down, and then encourage it to lie properly like so. That's it. I don't know if you can see it, it's lying down properly already. I don't know if you can see it, okay. So just hold that, holding that in place. Since I'm using UHU gum, you know, it gives something like webs kind of, so that's what I'm just cleaning off. Okay, so now the third one. You see, the final one is where there is going to be a real oh my. Anyway, we will do it. Yeah, so I just have to fold this so this can go in and then stretch it. Okay, then apply my UHU gum, then tuck that under like so, then press. Now there is no space for me to put my ruler here because here is sealed already. Okay, so I will just use style and just press down here like this, but be careful so you don't bend this. It's bending already, so I need to like bring it out. Yeah, bring it out. Okay, so it doesn't fold. Now this one is folded, so I'll use my metal ruler from here and push it like so. You can see what I did. Okay, holding it in place like so. Yeah, now you can see it's no longer bent. Okay, so now this final one, the truth is, for this final one I will have to trim. Yes, because it's too long and it will not be able to fold well. Let's give it a try. Yes, let us give it a try. Let's give it a try. You know, my friends call me never say die, because I don't easily give up on whatever I decide to use my hands to do. So now I'm going to fold this and then tuck it in. Because of the double-sided tape, okay, it's holding, it's grabbing onto the cardstock. Yes, I'm going to have to use my hand to hold on to the UHU gum like so. Yeah, it's not easy, but we can do it. So when you start your own, don't think that, oh okay, but my tutor did it easily, and oh no, I needed to show you guys the struggle so I know that yes, it's not a perfect thing. So now I've finally tucked it in. I'll just apply my glue here and then tuck that under and then hold this. Thank God it is UHU, it doesn't get dried very quickly. Okay, so that is my saving grace. So I can now hold this down and then come here, checking all the sides, making sure that they are properly aligned, and then just have to encourage this end. Okay, like so. All right, so that is it. Okay, there we are. Simple and precise. So I made it to fit this bottle. This is a 50 ml. Most perfume oil sellers use this, but I use this for my rose water. Yeah, so just drop that in. I made it to fit this bottle, so you can see well fitted. Okay, all right, so okay, now of course you can't just do a gift box like this and just present it like this. You need to cover it. So now to cover this, I will need another cardstock. Okay, to be honest, I haven't figured out the measurement that I will need yet for the cover. So now the cover that I want to make, I prefer the one that make this look like a matchstick. You know, either you push it out like this or you push it out like this. So I don't know which one should I do. Let me push it out like this so to be a strip. I'll cover it round like so. Okay, so now the first thing you need to do is to get your measurement. It's coming round like this. Okay, so that means we need the width from here to here. So this width is roughly 3 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so I'll just round it up to 3 3/8 of an inch. Just watch. So now I need a long strip of 3 and 3/8 of an inch by, now let's start measuring. Please watch very closely. This is 5 inches. Okay, 5 plus, this is 1 and 5/8, that will be 6 and 5/8. 6 and 5/8 plus 5 inches, that will be 11 and 5/8. 11 and 5/8 plus 1 and 5/8, that will be, I'm sweating already. Okay, 11 and 5/8 plus 1, that's 12 and 5/8. Okay, now 12 and 5/8 plus 5/8, let's assume this is 12 and 5/8 here, plus another 5/8, 1 2 3 4 5, so that's 13 and 2/8 of an inch. So that I'll add 1 inch, making 14 and 2/8 of an inch. So I need a cardstock that measures 5 inches by, am I sure it's 5 inches? Let me confirm, please. Haha, 3 and 3/8 of an inch. Okay, all right, so here I'll just line that and then score. So I'll just do that cutting off camera to save time. Okay, and I'll get back to you at that point. All right, so now here I have my strip. Okay, this is 3 and, it's no longer to 3 and 3/8 because after cutting I had to trim some sides off. Okay, like where the score lines were still showing, so I could have a smooth cardstock. So now this is about 3 and 2/8 of an inch, but it's slightly more than 3 and 2/8 of an inch, and it is not up to 3 and 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so now this is what I'm going to do. The first thing I will do is to bring my scoring board and then score at, no, before scoring I need to place this standing like so here. Okay, so for this I'll be needing my pencil. I never can tell that it's straight and all, so just draw faintly like so. So now this is now my ruler on top of my scoring board. Then I will then move that pencil mark. The pencil mark is not in any of the holes, it's on top of where I can't score, so I'll move it to where it will be in the center of any of the grooves. Okay, then I can now score. Okay, this is what I did and then scored. Now I will fold and crease this. Please remember to be mindful of how you fold and crease. Okay, make sure it is straight. Okay, so this was what I did. Then I will fold this, holding this to it, line that up to the board, bring my pencil and then draw again. Okay, then lift this off carefully and then move to any of the grooves where I can score properly on that pencil line. Then fold. Okay, making sure it's properly lined up, and then crease. Okay, now this is what I had this and then folded this. Okay, now next I'm going to do is also fold this again, holding the cardstock along with the box. Okay, and then line this up, bring my pencil and mark, dropping this carefully, then moving it to any of the grooves where I can score it properly. Okay, then fold. You can see it's not straight, so I need to straighten it. Must be straight. Fold, then crease. Okay, so now this is what we have here. Okay, this is like this. Then I can now fold this down like so, and then mark here. Okay, then I can now move my pencil mark to any of the grooves where it's in the center and score. Now from here I can now score whatever inches you want to use to hold it together, but I would prefer 1 5/8 of an inch, because actually from here to here is 1 5/8 of an inch. So I will just add 1 5/8 of an inch. My score line here is on 6 plus 1 5/8 of an inch. I'll have 7 5/8 of an inch. Instead of that, I'll just make it, sorry, don't be confused. Instead of making it 1 5/8 of an inch, I'll just make it 1 1/2. So from 6 plus 1 1/2, I have 7 1/2. So I don't need to cut or trim any other thing off again. So there, I'm done with the scoreboard. Okay, so I can now turn this and crease properly. Then for this one, I'll bring my ruler and paper cutter and then cut off including the score line, like so. So this is how I'm going to assemble it. By the time I line this up, you can see the excess coming out. It's not excess, it's part of the box. So that excess will be inside here. Okay, so now let's assemble this using my double-sided tape. Of course, I'll line this up like so, and line this up here. Okay, and I'll crease properly. Okay, then peel this off. Let me open my bottle down and allow the glue to turn. Okay, then take this and just apply like so. Now I can bring this, I'll line this up to this edge like so. Make sure that no glue is coming out. You can't feel any double-sided tape, anything. Okay, so like so, and then you can now fold it down and crease. Okay, so now there we are. Our box is ready and we are good to go. So this, you can just easily fit that in and it's a perfect fit. You can see, right? It's a perfect fit. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's a perfect fit. So thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next tutorial.